One of the incidents to which I referred at the beginning of the program was the shooting dead in front of his family, his wife and two children, of witness D at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, who we now know to be Marius Vlam. And he was the person who testified that he had been on the scene of a house raid, and the belief that somebody had been involved in an armed robbery was there, and his testimony was that the man was there and that he confessed that he had 500,000 rand with him, and Marius Vlam says he left the house, and when he came back he said, has he talked yet? And the response was, he will never talk again. And then the Mkwanazi, not Nhlanhla Mkwanazi, but the other one who's been at the Madlanga Commission from Ekurhuleni police arrived and told the police officer to throw him down a mine dump. And it's not the only theory as to why Marius Vlam was shot. The other theory is that his security company was involved with the demolition, the destruction, the removal of shacks and infrastructure from a place called Plastic City, which apparently was a haven of criminals. But somehow his testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry seems the more likely probability, although we do not know for sure. And it does further bring into the spotlight the question of whistleblower protection, something with which South Africa has not particularly dealt with well since whistleblowers started needing protection, which is quite some time ago. Glynnis Breytenbach is the DA spokesperson on justice and constitutional development. Glynnis, hello.
Hi, John. How are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much death, Glynnis. It's
terrible.
It just really is. Mafia state, gangster state, criminal state, Saulsville Tavern, this retired Bloemfontein teacher stabbed at an intersection when she's on her way to her grandchild's birthday. It's so depressing.
Terrible.
But this one, and whistleblower protection. Now, the Zondo Commission did say this is what you need to do, and not much of that has been done in the nearly 5 years since the Zondo report came out.
No, rather depressingly, very little has been done with regards to the Zondo report and every aspect of it, which is a matter of some concern.
Yeah, and so what are the key things? Because there is a longish list of what needs to be done. What are the most important things to be done, and do you have any sense of why they haven't been done?
Well, the most important reason why they haven't been done is probably because witness protection costs a lot of money, of necessity. It's a big budget item. If you're going to do it properly, it can't be done on a shoestring. And witness protection itself is a very complex sort of terrain. If you go into witness protection and you're a married man with a wife and 2 or 3 children, in South Africa you go into a safe house. And a safe house means that it's a house that's hopefully not easily identifiable and has not been identified, where you're guarded, often on the terrain of a prison or some other kind of secured area. Your children can't go to school, your wife can't leave the house, you can't go shopping. All your stuff gets delivered to you, not necessarily what you want, but what you get. And that's it, because as soon as people travel in and out of the place where you are, that's a risk that can't be mitigated. So most people opt not to go into the witness protection program, unsurprisingly.
And look, it's not only South Africa that has issues with, has the need to witness protect, and witness protection programs around the world have their flaws, but ours seems to be almost non-existent, Glynnis.
Well, we do have a witness protection program, and it's run by the National Prosecuting Authority. But as I say, it's very difficult, and if you're going to do it in a fashion that is more acceptable, makes people, allows people to sort of have some sort of life after witness protection, then you need a lot of money. You need to move very far away from where you come. You have to be in a place where your family can sustain itself. And in South Africa, those things are very hard to come by. A, we don't have that kind of budget, and B, it's not easy to reinvent an entire family somewhere down the line where they can in fact sustain themselves. So, we need to look at a whole new mechanism for witness protection. I think we need to look at both a program to protect witnesses before, during, and after. That's going to cost money, and we'll have to, build a budget for that. We need to find a way of incentivizing whistleblowing so that, people that people will step up to the plate and blow the whistle, give the evidence, and make the risk-taking worth it in the way of a financial incentive. And of course, there are a lot of risks involved in that issue, getting a whole lot of rubbish, but you can build in a lot of checks and balances, but we need to incentivize whistleblowing, and then, whistleblowing and witness protection, if money is regained from the evidence given by way of asset forfeiture, a percentage of that money should be as a reward, or whatever you would like to term it, as an incentive for people who have taken that risk to make it more worth it. But of course that needs to be very carefully crafted, because otherwise it's open to a whole lot of abuse which you would want to avoid.
Yeah. How to phrase this? Should the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry be re-looking at how it uses witnesses and how those witnesses testify when those witnesses do have already identified risks against them? I don't want to blame them because, let's remember that what the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is investigating suggests that there are people within all aspects of law enforcement who are in cahoots with criminals. So it's entirely possible that if he was killed because of his testimony, that he was identified by somebody in the system, and the Madlanga Commission could not have done anything differently. He would still have been identified, he would still have been attacked, and he had been attacked before, we now know. So I don't know how many witnesses, I don't think they have any left that would require anonymity, but do you think hard questions need to be asked of them?
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to lay any blame at the door of the Madlanga Commission. And I think whatever's available within the parameters of witness protection, they have done and done well. It's very difficult to protect a witness. For instance, Mr. van der Merwe's voice is distinctive. His voice wasn't changed for his evidence. So anybody who knew him would have known that it was his voice. It's very difficult to protect witnesses in the kind of situation that we find ourselves, as you correctly point out. The entire law enforcement apparatus is riddled with bad people, and so it's no great feat to find out the identity of somebody you want found out. We have to strengthen law enforcement in this country. We have to stop the corruption. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be pretty. And as long as we keep trying to do it in a pretty fashion, we're not going to succeed. So, we need to take it on. We need to do, that Al Capone was caught for tax evasion. We must stop going after the big ticket items, get them for, low-hanging fruit items, and get them in prison and get them out of the system, and then start the cleanup. There's no pretty way of doing this. We have to do the hard yards. You were talking about before I came on, I heard talking about the situation on Jake's Savile Drive. You shouldn't have to avoid it. People shouldn't have to be afraid of their lives for doing the right things. We need to get back to a state where the game is not worth the candle, where people think that if they commit a criminal offense, there's a good chance that they'll get caught, and if they get caught, there's a very good chance that they will go to jail. That's what will stop this rot, nothing else.
Glynnis Breytenbach, thank you for your time, a DA spokesperson on justice and constitutional development.